Hey y'all, I just wanted to pop in here and have a very quick conversation about how stupid people ruin things. So, if you guys didn't know, I do claim FBA, okay? My people are foundational to America. My people go all the way back to chattel slavery and some even before that. So I do claim that delineation when it comes to being black and how that term can mean so many different things, whether we're talking about our black brothers and sisters from Africa, directly from Africa, was not born in America, does not have family in America, but rather they're from Africa or they're in the Caribbean or wherever the case may be that they're from. I am fine with that delineation. I do think that the general idea and reason for delineating is completely reasonable. Being able to separate is fine. The other cultures, they do that all the time. When their children do well, they always make sure they put in there that they're Nigerian this or they're Jamaican that, and I'm cool with that. I should be able to rep being an American, a foundational Black American, a heritage Black American, whatever you want to slice it. That is what I am, and I'm proud of that. You know, America, just like any other country, has a very past, okay? Just like any other country. If I plop down on any country, I can point to time periods where a lot of disgusting, terrible things happen. And America is no different, but guess what? It's still my home. And the way that other groups get to rep their flags, I can rep my flag as well. I can want my country to be better while still honoring my ancestors for being here, for being part of the groundwork of the American economy, their blood, sweat, tears, their sacrifice. I can honor it by honoring my home because that it is what it is. This is my home. The problem that I have with this, and this goes back to what I said earlier about stupid people ruining things, is that you have a lot of idiots that will half listen to what someone says, and then they will latch on to anything that sounds funny, and then they will use it in a way that bastardizes what it means entirely. And today we're going to talk about the term tether because y'all really do annoy the F out of me when it comes to that term. Because that term was not made for just anyone you disagree with. It's for people who claim to be Black. They're not from here. They got their nose all up in our business and always talking a bunch of stuff that they don't know anything about, and then trying to tether themselves to us via reparations movement, via this, via that. That is what a tether is. It's not just somebody that you disagree with that's Black and you just want to, try to make it seem like they're not from America if they are, or somebody that isn't from America that is Black in the Black diaspora, as they say, and they just say something you disagree with. So you say, oh, that's a tether, tether. It's just stupid people don't fully understand words. And that kind of goes back to the literacy crisis that I talked about yesterday. And it goes back twofold because this is one of the comments that was left under the video. Now, if you guys didn't see that video, it's about wanting Black children to be able to read. And I mentioned how our ancestors sacrificed and fought for our right to be able to read, our ability to be able to read. Our ancestors would have given anything to be in a position that we're in now, where we have the ability to read at the fingertips. But for some reason, a lot of our youth, obviously not all, obviously, but a lot of our youth, enough of it to where it's a problem, they cannot read, and it's sad. And into that video, I had some idiot comment, oh, tether alert, and I bet he thinks he cooked with that. First of all, my people been here, both sides, Mississippi. We have family records that show exactly what plantations we were on, how deep we go into the American history. Like, don't play with me. And it's so annoying that the moment you say anything that even seems critical of Black America, then these idiots come out the woodwork, tether, 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 like a bunch of idiots, like a bunch of baboons. It's literally ridiculous. And it just goes to show that people who follow these different thought leaders, they don't actually think about what that thought leader is telling them. Because even Tariq does not go around calling every single person a tether. He said multiple times that there are plenty of brothers and sisters in the diaspora that are not from America that he rocks with, that he supports. It's specifically the ones that try to come over here and tether themselves to us for their own benefit or to try to make us look worse and then uplift wherever they're from. But stupid people like to be entertained, and the entertaining part of it is when he's making fun of somebody and then he throws that term in there, and then stupid people are entertained by that, and then they take that piece of entertainment and then they spread it everywhere by calling everybody that they don't agree with a tether. These people don't actually think, and they're the reason why a lot of folks just don't respect when you say that you're foundational to America, that you're a freeman, that you're, whatever term that you want to use to describe your ancestry as foundational and heritage to America, chattel slavery here in America. And some of our ancestors are even here before that because we have native in our blood, all of that. I'm telling you, people don't take it seriously because of the idiots. They're the ones that make everybody else look stupid. And they're the reason why certain groups or ideas that I might believe in, I choose not to associate with because I don't want to be lumped with these idiots. And honestly, it's getting to the point where I don't want to be lumped with the FBAs because you got too many idiots running around saying stupid stuff like this. You say anything that remotely criticizes but wants better for the Black community, and these dummies that can't understand words will call you a tether. It's ludicrous. It's no wonder that we are in the predicament that we're in because these stupid people breed like rabbits, and they're probably the ones who ain't teaching their kids how to effing read. That's why they get offended by a video saying, Black parents, teach your kids how to read. I don't care what you have to do. Do it. Our ancestors had to fight through way more to be able to read. So I don't give a damn what you got going on. Make sure your children, your Black children, know how to read because they deserve to know how to read. They deserve to not start life at a deficit because you're too busy doing a bunch of other stuff that doesn't matter. Like thumb thugging in my comment section talking about tether this when you should be hooking your kid on phonics. That's what you should be doing. Your grandkids on phonics. We got too many dummies out here and they're the ones having the babies, not raising them right. And then when they go out into the world and they're menaces to the world, then they want to sit back and blame white supremacy. But you didn't do what you were supposed to do as a parent. You added to the statistic. You made the whole group look bad by being stupid. I don't think people understand that when you put everything on white supremacy, you take agency out of yourself for the things that are within your reach. Making sure your children know how to read is within your reach. They're not going to go into your house and force you not to teach your kids how to read. How can you say that this is holding you back when you haven't even done the bare minimum of what is required to even get to the point where they can hold you back there? Be so for real here. That's the problem. There are things that need to be fixed, but we can't even get to that point if our kids can't even read. If we're allowing our kids to just run the street, if we're allowing our daughters to grow up and be whores. There are things that we can fix right now within our control. Once we do that, then we can tackle bigger problems. But how do you expect to have any form of leverage when your population can't even read, when your net wealth is going to hit zero in the next 10 years, 20 years? How, Sway? What leverage do you have? You have no leverage. And that's the sad part. The leverage that our ancestors had, we squandered it being stupid. We squandered it, all of it. So now when there are racial things that happen, guess what? Now there's so much plausible deniability that if we say it's racist, they get to point to all the other stuff that we're not doing correctly and say, no, it's not racist. It's this. No, it can't possibly be racist because of X, Y, and Z. Y'all give them X, Y, and Z. You give them plausible deniability by not raising your kids right, by destroying our own community. That's what y'all do. So any conversation we can't have about fixing any racial divides, we can't. You ruin the deal before we even get to the table. That's the part that y'all don't get. It's not clocking. For all the people that want to call me a tether, like, I could give a if you think I'm from here or not. My ancestry doesn't change whether you believe it or not. Both sides of the family, gang, foundational to America. Doesn't change if you type tether in my comment section. Nor does it change the fact that I will hold our community accountable because I actually give a damn about us. I want us to do better. And we can't do better if we continue to pretend like we don't have problems that we need to work on ourselves. They can't change if we do not look in the mirror and see what we can do on our end to make things better for ourselves. I am not going to ever be the type of person that tells my people to sit and just be a victim and just complain and make it everybody else's problem and not have any agency and just give up. That's defeatist. And that is the antithesis of what our ancestors ever were. Y'all that go around saying, well, there's nothing we can do, white supremacy, there's nothing we can do. Y'all are a disgrace to your ancestors if you are foundational to America. You are an effing disgrace because they were under even worse conditions and they still, maybe not all, maybe, and you know what? Maybe your ancestors were Samuel L. Jackson from Django. Maybe those were your ancestors, the ones that didn't want to fight, the ones that, Harriet Tubman left behind. Maybe those was your ancestors. Maybe that's what's in your DNA. But mine? No. My ancestors were fighters, and I will honor them by continue to do what I can that is within my power to better my lineage, to better my family, to make sure that my Black kids do not grow up dumb, do not grow up disenfranchised, do not grow up victims, do not grow up with their mind in a box thinking that there's only two things that they can do. I'm going to raise free children, regardless of what y'all say. And if things pop up in the future that are systemically not in our favor, guess what? We're going to continue to fight. My ancestors were not losers, and I refuse to be a loser or raise losers. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this whole thing? Do you agree with me where it's like, yes, stupid people ruin everything? Even something as simple as delineating and recognizing that your lineage is different from everybody else's, and that's fine. And they just ruin it by misusing terms and calling everybody a tether and just sounding irate and stupid on the internet, making you look stupid because you claim the same thing that they claim. And it's a show. Or do you disagree with me where it's like you're going to type tether in the comment section of this video too? Because again, you're too stupid to understand the point. I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video, like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that's for you. And if you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.